You're gonna miss it.
So sad.
You're gonna miss it.
Yo, we're diving deep, staying the grays, our creek balance. Thoughts split the sea, no extreme. In a world of black and white, we seek to blend, understand both sides, let the truth transcend. Stay in the gray, where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride. A long time ago we started stumbling. Feels like this country's crumbling. The government is fumbling. A Congress that is bumbling. Both sides are always arguing. They all could use some humbling. And stop the world from tumbling. Rebuild the trust is plummeting. If ideas would start bubbling, our efforts could be doubling. And chaos would start slumbering. And people resume huddling. And talk about the trouble and concerns we're always juggling. Cooperate while snuggling. And quit the useless struggling.
Sorry, everybody. I was trying to do something, but of course, when I'm ready to get going here, something happens on my phone. At first, I'd like to congratulate Stay in the Gray podcast. As tonight, I'm going to open a bottle of champagne.
Don't point that at me.
And tonight is the last episode of season 3.
Yeah.
Don't worry, not the last episode. I know many hearts would break. Trey's favorite number is what?
3.
So this is episode 333. So Trey.
Yeah.
That'll be a great.
That worked great.
That'll be a great camera shot. 333. Guys, thank you for anybody that's hung with us. Whether it's 4,000 or 4. We love you and appreciate you. And we're going to keep going with this thing.
I'm a little sad that this is the last time we'll hear the song for now.
Well, for now. If people miss it and write in and say, you know what, this new song sucks, we want season 3 90s
rap,
90s
hip hop.
I don't even call it rap. I call it chill vibe. It's like
chill vibe?
It's like chill rap. As you can see in the background, if our producers give you a shot of the room, we've just completed the presidential debate.
Wait a minute, I've got a headline here.
We are, but I'm just letting you know
Don't.
that Trey and I did in fact watch the debate as much as we could, and I am so proud of my man over here. If you followed us at all, you know that Trey is not. He talks about politics under protest. On this show, he would rather talk about college football, sex, just all kinds of crazy shit. But we have to give you some politics. And but before we do, we're going to go with our usual stuff. And that means what, Trey? You must have
a headline.
Yeah. Let's go. Give it to me.
So this is a competition
in... The headline.
The headline, yeah. This is a competition in India that maybe we should try to enter as Americans, as a,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
India's first fart competition to be held in Surat.
And where?
Surat.
Okay.
You familiar with that?
No.
Summer there?
I would have known one thing.
Winter there?
If you had said Mumbai or what's it? Or Bombay.
Bombay?
I would have known 2 cities. I don't know why I even asked. Go ahead.
So they say it's the best fartiest will get a trophy. It says organized by Surat residents, Yatin Sengoi and Mool Sangvi.
Oh, right. Well, yeah.
The competition will judge people on the basis of their stinkers to find India's best fartists.
Yeah, but what are the categories?
I didn't get that far.
Well, that's right. We only give you a headline, don't we? Yeah, I would think that the categories would be
smelliest, longest
would be 1, maybe loudest, maybe most unique noise, some sort of a
wettest.
And my headline is wettest. Only you would go to wettest for a fart. My headline is simple, Trey. Police begin a campaign to run down jaywalkers. Whoever writes these needs to be fired because...
I thought that was funny.
It's funny, but these are real headlines.
These are real headlines?
Yes.
Okay.
And it could be, people might take that the wrong way. That they're literally trying to run them down.
Yeah. Jaywalkers.
I think run down was probably a figure of speech, wouldn't you say?
Maybe they're playing on words with running and walking. Jaywalker?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, that's
You have
just my
to explain
headline.
it. Okay.
Headline.
Headline.
So debate. It was on, and Trey and I weren't going to watch much of it. We were just going to kind of preview it and talk briefly. But then, tell you what, my man over here like got super into it, and we started watching it. And you know, everybody that's listened to the show and knows me knows who I'm voting for. And again, Trey just won't say. I don't know if he's just being stubborn or if he has a plan to endorse later down the road so that he influences tons of people.
Like Tay-Tay.
But the debate was tonight, 8 p.m. I had all these notes for us. I was going to ask what you thought was going to happen, but now we know. And it was in Philadelphia. My biggest issue, and I didn't get the names, I should have got the names, I'm sorry. My biggest issue, Trey, to start was that I gave CNN, a huge liberal network, correct? The first debate, I gave them tons of credit for being neutral, for being fair. Mm-hmm. ABC was not tonight. This guy, this douchebag, I don't even know his name. And the woman didn't even get to talk barely. But the guy that was moderating challenged Donald Trump on literally everything he said. And I know for a fact that Kamala was off on some of the things she said, and he didn't. He just went with it. And there was an obvious bias that I didn't see with CNN. And left won't maybe agree, but that bothers me. I just think it needs to be fair. She turned down a debate on Fox News, although Donald's gone into the lion's den on both of his. What do you think? Is that fair?
That's fair because
is it fair that he doesn't have to?
No. I'm sorry. I thought it was fair that the fact that you were picking up that he was kind of
did you get that vibe
challenging,
at all? And not just because I said it.
Well, and it was there was a couple times where he would ask him a question, and then Donald kind of went down around the corner.
Yeah, sure. He likes to do that.
And he kept pounding him for that response, and it wasn't even. It was just
and he fact checked him, and they're supposed to do a little fact checking, but a lot of it wasn't fact that he was responding to. No, Donald. In fact, it was this. Well, that's not true. That it was an opinion.
Well, and the fact that where he brought up the smidge and we won, and then we won by a hair, and I thought that was a little petty at that part of it. So
it was very petty. Those were people that take a 3 or 4 word piece of a speech or an interview, and they turn it into all of a sudden this is context, and they wrap this, they twist it, they do all these things, and this guy says, well, you literally said this. Well, okay, but I was saying it in jest, or I was saying it whatever. And everyone's like, okay, sure. What if he was actually saying it in jest? I mean, I'm not serious all the time when I talk.
And I know it's kind of a joke on social media we've seen where obviously Kamala's in office right now, not as the president, but she's in office right now. How she's talking about all these changes she wants to make.
High position.
Yeah, she wants to make all these changes on day one. Well, she's in office right now, and I was kind of surprised that the mediator didn't. Well, why don't you change this part now? Right. Why don't you fix this right now? Why don't you, so. He
left that to Donald to do, and Donald tried to do it a little bit. He said, look, I think there was a part where he actually said, go now.
Yes.
Leave the debate.
Let's go close the border right now.
Go to D.C. and sign it. You have the ability. What he's implying is that she's lying about what she wants to do. She's trying to get votes. She's trying to tell people the border will be secure with her, and he's saying that's bullshit. They've had every opportunity. They didn't do it. And they won't. They're just telling you they will. So he's basically saying, go do it. Prove it. Which is petty, but true.
Does it kind of show that maybe Kamala and Biden maybe haven't been on the same page? Or do you think...
I don't know. He did say Biden hated her.
That too. And asking if he was still alive.
Donald, that was I was going to say that was the quote, the quote of the night. He's like,
take your thunder.
He didn't even know he was alive. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it's almost like she's not taking responsibility for what's going on right now because she's going to fix it her way kind of deal. So it's like, this wasn't what I wanted to do. That's the kind of vibe I got a little bit. And I was actually again, I don't know her speeches or whatever, but I was kind of surprised at the personal attacks that through the whole debate. There was more than I expected. I figured, she may take a higher road than Donald, but no, she was quite on point with the attacks.
everybody says Donald's the guy that attacks, but recently it really hasn't been that. He attacks, in my opinion, in defense. When somebody says something about him, he's not going to take it. So he'll lash back, kind of like I do. Lash back and try and go harder and try and go like, well, I'll get you even more verbally.
Right.
And she came out tonight, and I think if there was a drinking game for the amount of time she said Donald Trump,
right,
someone's fucked up right now, and they're on the floor because she said his name a lot.
A lot.
And it's not about that. She kept saying, well, I'm going to do this. And she didn't say how. And Donald, it's hard to say exactly how because you only have 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And so Donald's trying to... And Donald starts talking about actual things, but people don't know, like the pipelines and the specific deals he had across the sea. And everybody doesn't know about that. And he can't educate everybody in 2 minutes.
Right, right.
And so my issue, and I'll say it here, Trey, and we won't talk too much more about it. I don't know if there was a winner or a loser. I think that both of them had their ups and their downs. Donald, I wish I could speak for him, and I'll say that to everybody right now.
You were trying to.
I was trying. Because I know what he wants to say, and there are a few things that I wish he hadn't said. I wish he hadn't said a few things the way he did. But if I know what he's trying to say, and I just wish he could say it better. And that's the problem with Donald, and it always has been. And I hope people can see through that a little bit. But to be fair, on Kamala's side, I thought she was very composed compared to what I thought she would be. I thought she was going to be laughing and cackling, and she did have a smirk on her face, and
she did, yes,
a lot, and looked at him like she was like something special, and that was annoying. But she's annoying. She's annoying to me. She's annoying looking. Her voice, nasally, she's annoying to me. But I thought she handled herself well, and I'll admit that.
Do you feel like she seemed like she was trying to showboat a little bit with the facial expressions and stuff like that. And actually, it seemed like she was trying to cut him off a lot more than I assumed he would cut her off. But yeah.
And I didn't mean, go ahead.
No, I was going to say he actually seemed more composed again in this one like he was the last one,
well,
too.
He's composed, and I think what I want from Donald is not, people are telling him to stay composed. That doesn't mean he needs to sit there and, and just like stare, blindly into the camera. And I think that's the only way he can stay composed. Otherwise, he's just going to, and fair enough. And I thought he waited. He was patient. Both of them, I heard, would try and say, no, turn the mic back on real quick. I have something else.
Oh, yeah.
And to their fairness, they did most of the time. That's what people want to hear, okay? I want to hear what he has to say to that she said. I want to hear what she had to say to that. I think that they had different plans. I think Kamala came in really wanting to just torch him on his criminal, all his felony charges and things like that, which, she tried to hit him on things he hasn't been charged of. The January 6th thing, let's talk about that and then we'll move on. What do you think about January 6th? Do you know enough about it to talk about it?
Not really.
It bothers me a lot.
Does it?
The way that the left continues to drill this as if it was Donald's fault.
I guess could he have done more? I don't know. And that's where I don't know enough about it to say, okay, could he have called these folks off?
It took George W. Bush, quite a while to make an announcement after 9/11. You have to compose yourself and figure out what you're going to say. You have to deal with your speech writers. You have to deal with your publicist. You have a publicist or whoever the president, whatever their title is. Used to celebrity talk, but in his initial speech, and he said it.
Yes, I heard that
straight up, and he's not wrong. I mean, I've listened to it. You can't tell us it's wrong. He said peacefully and patriotically. Peacefully means peacefully. So,
what does patriotically mean?
Well, just for being a patriot of the country. Let's let them know what we think. It doesn't mean you go and you storm the Capitol. So it's not about people that a couple, I guess it was like 1,000 people, morons. I'm not sitting here supporting it, but to say that Donald, look, people, if Donald wanted to do something, it would have been a lot bigger than that.
Yo, I can imagine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess they assumed that he had more power than.
Yeah. Well, they thought it wasn't him that did it. Could he have raced to the cameras to say, stop, 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 everybody. Okay, fine. Maybe you have something. But to say he caused an insurrection and tried to overthrow our government in a peaceful transfer of power is ridiculous. That's not what he did. And that's all they're using. So they're using these types of this rhetoric, these false narratives. And I thought she hit those a lot tonight. She was trying to like boom, boom, boom. And that's what you hear if you go to the echo chamber. People are going to say we have Fox News on, which we do. And in all fairness, I agree. This is more of the right-wing channel. But I would have no problem putting another one on. Should I do it? But if I could figure out my damn TV, I would.
Well, and he pounded the immigration a lot too.
Oh God, every question.
Yeah, he brought up the immigration every time he could.
What do you think about economic policy? Well, the immigrants were like,
yeah.
What do you think about foreign affairs? Well, that would apply. You know what I mean? What do you think about
that? Works.
What do you think about abortion? The border.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any abortion talk. We missed that. I think.
They did touch on abortion.
Well, let me just tell you, I was putting my fucking kid to sleep, and he wouldn't go to sleep. So Trey got to watch all of it.
They did talk about the abortion. Of course, he brought up, he brought up the fact of, I guess, was it Virginia, bringing up where they could go 9 months, have the baby, we'll put the baby aside and decide what to do with the baby later. The mediator actually came out and said, well, no, there's no states that will allow you to kill a baby after 9 months. Because that basically you're giving birth to the baby at that point.
But I don't agree with that guy. I've heard of stories about this before. So if it's happening, it's not being monitored. Maybe that's the way to put it.
Because I'm kind of curious, how do you abort a baby at 9 months? You give birth to the baby at that point.
You murder it.
So after they give birth to them, they're murdering them.
They're claiming that there are post birth abortions. And look, I don't know people. I'm not in the rooms. But from what I understand, there's hard evidence that this has happened. Not a lot, but enough, and it's enough. And so all I'm saying is that we need to be more strict. Look, I'm with you. I align with you on this a lot, and I don't align with the far-right Republicans at all. So people stop calling me fucking Republican. I'm not. I don't align with them on this. I do think that there's some validity to women having the right to their bodies. I've also said that what's in there is the man's to confer with if he wants to, and help make the decision. I don't think it's fair to just be like, "What's my body?" Well, but the late term abortion thing gets me, and if that's happening, I'm not okay with it.
Well, and the mediator asked him if he would ban an abortion, or I'm sorry, if he would veto an abortion ban. And he's like, well, that will never come up. And so they went back and forth. He's like, well, he never answered it, except for saying it'll never come up. It's not going to happen, so it'll never come up anyway. Supposedly, J.D. Vance came out saying that he would veto an abortion ban.
Yeah, J.D. He'd veto an abortion ban?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what they, unless I misheard it.
He would say he would.
He said that Trump would veto it. And then Trump said, well, I've never talked to JD about this. So
are you saying it the right way?
I think veto
an abortion ban. So they don't want the ban.
Right. They want to leave it with the states. Yeah. The states get to decide.
That's what I've been saying.
And then he did fire back at Kamala once. It's like, well, would you be okay with an abortion at 7 months, 8 months, 9 months? Right. Tell me. And she didn't flat out answer that either. So yeah.
This is why this is an issue that isn't about the right side or the left side. This is about what we always talk about. Let's talk. Have a discussion. Figure it out. Come together. And no one will, because they're just pissing at each other about whatever. You're either all the topics over here, all the topics over here, and we don't believe that. I mean, there are a lot of issues that I used to lean left. Now I tend not to, because I just can't align with the far left and the woke. And Kamala I've posted a video of her literally saying the woker the better. Let's all be woke. And that's scary to me, because this woke sensitive bullshit is what I just said, bullshit.
And I guess I'm curious, when did it come to the point where we needed the government to step in? Like, when did it abortions were happening so much, or
Yeah.
did religion jump in and sway politicians to go a certain way? When did that finally come into play? Because obviously Roe v. Wade was protecting that at that point,
Sure.
or fighting that at that point. So I'm curious to know when it got so bad that the government had to step in before Roe v. Wade then stepped in.
Well, my thought is that I just feel like, and people will say this is a cop-out, but I really do feel like it is a social issue, and that social issues, a guy like Donald Trump is trying to localize instead of centralize. And I've said that that's the difference, the big difference, people, between the left and the right and that's why save our democracy. The left says that. Well, they're the ones that want more central government, which is more undemocratic, if that's the way to say it. And Donald is trying to localize government to the lowest level. And I think that that's an issue that he felt, the Supreme Court agreed that, and of course he's the one that assigned a lot of those guys, and they agreed, and they just said, here, it's to the state. And it causes just a fuckload of problems. I mean, it does. People crossing the borders to get abortions, they got abortion ships, they got abortion trucks in Chicago. I mean, we got to do something about the issue, but I just don't think that, if I had to say, it's not my number one issue with the president. And that's me personally. Some people it is. If being able to abort a fetus is your number one issue, by all means, you're probably going to vote for Kamala Harris. And there's nothing that whatever. But if that's just kind of there, look at the other issues. And I think that's what Donald needed to do more of, and he tried so hard with that border. My God.
Well, and I guess
he's just all about the border.
When I'm thinking about it, I mean, you have two boys. I don't know and I'm curious if your mindset may be different. Maybe it'd be a little bit higher if you had two girls. I don't know. I'm just curious if that would be the case. What do you think? If you had daughters as opposed to sons, do you think that would be a higher, something you would think about in a higher?
I know it wouldn't be number one, because I just feel like they'd be, at this point, if they were this age, if they were old enough, like I said, there are ways around it. I mean, and that's the issue right now, is that there's nothing set in stone, and that's why everybody needs to calm down about it. You can go to another state nearby.
Well, and
you can go offshore. You can do all these things
if you have the means for it, though. That's the only other issue. So,
and then of course you worry about alley coat hangers and things like that. I get it, and maybe it would be. You're right. Maybe it would be. But to me, it's not, and that's the point. Everyone needs to figure out what's most important and prioritize it to them.
I agree with
that.
that.
I've always said that.
Yeah.
And that's why, and we'll get to this in a second with butthurt comments. Somebody believes one way, and that's their issue. Okay, no one's going to change their mind. Unless Trump came out and said, you know what, women's bodies, no matter what, you can't overturn Roe v. Wade. You have to implement a new case. But I'm going to bring it back, and I was wrong. Maybe. I still don't think you get many people, because people just have learned to hate him. They've been told to hate him. They've learned to hate him, and I think that's what you're seeing.
I just hope people don't vote for Kamala just because they hate Trump either.
Yeah,
or vice versa.
Well, or vice versa. And I think that you're going to get some of that both ways, but I think more on the Trump side. People are just so. I mean, I see pages, Republicans against Trump, whatever against Trump, that are normally would vote for the right side. I'm not Republican or Democrat, and I don't like either. I don't like bipartisanism. I want to be able to vote on a person. Can you imagine just putting two people and not knowing what party they're affiliated with? Just put them up there and give them the ideas, or give them the issues.
I'm curious, why don't we vote on the nominees? Why don't we get a chance to vote on that? Like, instead of them, do we get to vote on nominees?
Well, the primaries. Are you talking about the
Is that, okay, so hopefully 10, I'm not stupid with that.
Yeah, a little bit.
So we do vote on that.
We vote on like the top 10 Republicans and the top 10 Democrats. So what I've been saying, what Donald was saying tonight about Kamala, is that she got 0 votes. She dropped out because she was in last place for the primaries.
That's right.
Just for the Democrats.
Okay, so yeah.
So the Democrats didn't even like her.
Yeah.
At all. And she got 0 votes. And Joe Biden got all the votes. The incumbent president usually does, in all fairness. And he drops out, and all of a sudden we're putting this woman with 0 votes. So talk about democracy. They're the ones talking about democracy. They're forcing her in because otherwise they lose their money and blah blah blah. We've been through this. So that's why I have an issue with that side, and I put up a lot of Kamala, cackling and Kamala laughing posts because they're funny. The most recent one drew a lot of attention. Most of them were funny, but let's move to butthurt. How about that? Do you have anything more on the debate tonight? And we can talk about it more down the road, but I haven't had a lot of time to analyze it.
No,
you're done. All right, Trey watched it. Everybody,
I didn't fall asleep once.
Has it changed you, or are you going to take some time?
I'm gonna take some time.
Take some time. We'll let you know the night before the election on who Trey is going to vote for. See episode 431.
Right.
So, episode 4 coming up, everybody. Look for that. Look for a lot of
season 4.
I'm sorry, season 4. You're gonna see a lot of changes.
Yeah,
everywhere. I got a team of guys that are working their butts off for us, and they are telling us what to do. We need that.
I like it.
I like it. Just talk, and that's what I do best. Is talk. People don't always like it, but whatever. Fuck you. Speaking of butthurt comments of the week or of the show, Trey, finally somebody has done what I've asked.
Uh-oh.
Somebody has finally. This may be the best butthurt just commenter because it was constant, and of course I responded a couple times.
I can't imagine.
But then she'd find the next thing I posted, and she'd be right there. And I'm
really?
like, I'm like, you're giving us a lot of interaction, thanks. But I'm going to take a different approach because I could easily just bash her all night, and I won't because I made the mistake of commenting on her physical appearance. But she had already bashed me, so it was in defense. I'm going to say that.
Did she bash you or me?
But I'm not sure and this is what we're going to talk about. This is what'll be funny. So her handle on Instagram, everybody, is Mickey. So 3 M's Icky.
3 M's Icky.
So double M Mickey. 1993. I'm assuming that's her birth year. She's whatever. If you want to look, I'll let you look at her profile picture. But she's a little bit larger woman. And so I might have hit her with that. I said, change your profile. Change your profile picture for everybody's sake. And that was just after this. So it was just a simple video of Kamala and Donald going back and forth, and Kamala laughing, and it was just a fake. It was a fake side by side. It's just funny. Just who cares?
So this wasn't the song one.
No, the song one was later, but she got on there too, of course. But she's just like. It's pathetic that the only thing you have against her is her laugh, because it was about her. It was showing her laughing. We're all sick of misogynists and meek little men thinking their opinion matters. Have fun while your platforms last. You'll be shunned back into the dark where you belong in a few months with a middle finger icon.
Oh, there's a middle finger icon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I used it back a couple times. But who in this case was the aggressor? I'm going to say it's Mickey.
Mickey.
And for her, and I'm going to send this to her, this section of the show, because she needs to hear me. I'm not going to bash her tonight. I'm going to take a. I'm going to take.
You're not going to do it tonight.
No, I'm going to do the high road tonight. And I already told her she was going to make butthurt. I mean, it was like immediate. It was like, this is finally we're getting somebody to do this. And we kind of went on a little bit, and then let's see, grown man getting emotional. I'm not. That's not. I wasn't emotional, but I'm also not afraid to be emotional, right? Emotional.
No,
guy.
that's for damn sure.
Nothing wrong with that. Seems like I struck a nerve, hun. I don't have the time or crowns, blah blah blah. But the best part here, Trey, and we're going to talk about this, is that she started attacking us physically, both of us, because she didn't know who she was talking to. And I want to see which one you think she was referring to with all of these insults. There were a lot of them. And so, Mickey, I'm a little hurt that you went to the insults the way you did. You might think you were clever, but Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was a defense mechanism for being dumb.
Being dumb.
Let's see. Now you have to insult my appearance because I had just told her she had changed her profile picture. She goes, yeah, one of you looks like the crypt keeper. Who do you think that is?
That's probably me.
That's probably you?
Yeah.
Because you're skinny.
In the nose, maybe.
Is that a qualification for a crypt keeper?
I don't know. You would think they would be kind of bony with the nose and everything.
Yeah, well, maybe that was.
Well, let's see what the next
all right,
one says.
Yeah, all right. And the other looks like he hasn't bathed in a decade. I'll take that because I have long hair and a beard. A lot of women in sports look like.
Why do I
that.
have to be the crypt keeper?
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that out there.
You're
the crypt keeper, and I haven't taken a bath. Maybe on the show that you looked at, maybe I hadn't taken a bath, Mickey, because maybe I had a long day, and maybe I didn't have time for my bubble bath and champagne. But it's very easy to take a shower, and I think I'm very clean. Trey can attest to that.
Yeah,
showered before.
I mean, we've cuddled before, and this.
We both have crow's feet. Well, first off, she can't see my feet, and I don't think your feet are in the shot, so she's assuming, right?
No. Do you know what crow's feet is?
Oh, in the eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was okay. All right, you got me there, but I don't think we have that.
I don't think you have crow feet.
No, I don't think so either. No, I don't see it. Maybe when I squint, but who gives a shit?
So we don't squint.
Yeah. Okay. Crow's feet. So okay. Crepey, crepey skin. I don't know if she meant creepy skin or is crepey like a.
I have no idea what crepey
skin could be like.
That's a big word.
Like white, like crepes, like the French word.
I don't know what that one is.
Yeah. So that was dumb. And we have a lack of shine. And she keeps saying there because she thinks she's talking to somebody else. I don't know. A lack of shine in their eyes that you only Gen Z has because your parents couldn't give a fuck about you. I have beautiful eyes, and I've been told that my entire life.
Too. I've had people comment about my eyes.
Mickey, we have plenty of shine. We've been complimented, and I will take that lifetime of compliments, as I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Over yours.
Yeah, that was a bad one. I have nice
because
eyes.
I don't know what she looked at. Is she looking at our picture from our cover picture?
I don't know.
Which isn't a great picture either, by the way.
That's true.
She kept going. And I said, none of that makes any sense. You need to go for a jog.
Oh, God.
But whatever. See? I mean, she goes, I may be fat. Okay, good. At least you admit that. But at least I don't have an abhorrent personality. Is that the way you say that? Which she doesn't know anything about us. So, personality.
Abhorrent?
Well, she's calling us misogynistic and all these things, and she's saying that we're mean and evil and blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
While looking like the skeleton of Big Bird, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's gotta be me.
Nose and shit, right? And a greasy creep. Gotta be me. With the receding hairline. What is it that? That's the second time.
No, I don't think that's receding.
The second time somebody said that about that. It's just two little pockets here, and it's a genetic thing. It's not receding.
Yeah, I don't see it receding. All this
fucking hair, right? Okay, Mickey, we're taking this. Right, we're taking this.
I don't know about the Big Bird. That's kind of offensive. I'm a little sad about that.
Well, Big Bird's a big gay too. He's a big old gay bird. Well, him and Snuffleupagus, right?
Yeah,
I thought, or is that Bird?
But he was a giver anyway.
I think he's probably the giver. Snuffleupagus would have taken him down. Like that would not have been pretty. Then I wrote response, and she said, "You're crazy if you think I'm going to read all that." Well, of course you won't, because I actually gave you some substance. And so it went on and on and on. And I said, "You made the butthurt comment." So,
Icky.
There you go. We're going to take your. I'm going to say the compliments, Trey. Big Bird was a popular character. I'm not greasy. I don't think so. I have a hot wife that I get to sleep in the same bed with, and I'm good. Things are good.
Yeah, I got pretty eyes.
Yeah, look. I love my eyes.
My nose is big though, but
so is mine. Like, who gives a shit? Her everything is big. Let's move on. Mickey, I hope you liked the way we handled that, and I hope you enjoyed the butthurt comment of the show.
Thanks, Mickey.
like and subscribe, and we will move on from there.
Are we going to send her autographed pictures?
Yeah, if she wants a T-shirt, we've got XXL.
Oh God!
God, Mickey, I'm sorry. We have I bet you can fit into that medium yellow over there. We'll send you a T-shirt, some pens, and coasters, and all that shit for being a good sport. If you're a good sport, if you get all mad, you don't get any of that.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple.
Easy.
All right, should we do news?
I think so.
All right, everybody.
That is horrible.
And welcome to Stay in the Great Podcast news for the night. A 33-year-old man underwent emergency surgery in January in Graz Hospital in Austria. It was a forestry accident. And they didn't go any further than that, first off, with forestry. Like, a lot could happen in the forest.
Did a tree fall on him? Did he run into a tree?
Well, apparently it was something with his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that clears it up.
Didn't
in July, so what is that, 6 months later, 7 months later, something like that, the patient learned when he had a scar scab that he couldn't figure out. The surgeon said he let his 13-year-old daughter drill a hole into his head to practice.
Are you serious? Does he own Austria now?
So there was no contact. This is his attorney now. No contact, apology, explanation, said the attorney. That is simply undignified. The operation, however, was successful, but the patient is still healing from the drill. The hospital has since fired the surgeon.
No shit. A 13-year-old?
No, Trey. 14. She was 14.
14. I'm just sitting here thinking about your boys. Hey, Dad, can I try this?
Can you imagine that? Just, okay, why not?
Just drill one hole, baby.
The Hong Kong Education Bureau. Are you familiar with them?
No.
And their policy. They put out a 70-page. This may interest you because you may already own this. It's a 70-page sex education manual for 12 to 14-year-olds.
Oh.
Maybe this drill person.
Does it have pictures?
Well,
that's the only way I'd be interested.
You remember those old videos we used to watch?
Yeah.
It's like not erect, and it's just like this little picture of a penis, and I'm like, I'm big, take that guy.
With the big puff of hair around it.
So the purpose was to avoid premarital sex and other intimate behavior. They encourage you to participate in exercise and other pastimes like badminton. They literally use badminton as a I guess that's popular in Hong Kong. It drew attention. Go ahead. Isn't that what?
I was going to say, isn't that how soccer was invented? They were trying to figure out a game to play that didn't involve the hands because there was so much masturbation going on. You didn't know that?
No, but badminton's like tennis.
Yeah, I know what badminton is, but I thought soccer did that too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that's why soccer was invented. They were trying to figure out something to do with the kids. Anyway,
you may have to look it up on your own, people.
Google that.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Every time we say that, we don't let them know.
No.
It drew attention from. It's supposed to draw attention from undesirable temptation and activities. The Bureau is getting ridiculed for using this and the video itself. Brushing it off. It brushes off. Kids will cope with the consequences of premarital sex. So the teenagers are now using it in slang. So they say she or he is a friend with badminton.
A friend with badminton, huh?
Instead of a friend with benefits, it's a friend with badminton and it's code. So the sex education tape has just given them a way to slang.
Teach them how to do it in the butt, and they won't have to worry about that.
No pregnancy involved.
There you go.
Yeah, a few STDs out there from the ass.
But
right?
Or finish in the mouth. I mean, you can't get pregnant that way, can you?
I'm not sure. Ask Kamala.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, Kamala. That was okay. That was wrong. But you know what? I don't care at this point, Trey.
I don't think she listens to the show.
Yeah. Kamala, if you're listening to this show, I apologize. On to the next story. The Kansas City Chiefs, Trey. You know who those guys are?
I do.
It's not an actual Native American tribe. I don't believe. It is a NFL football team.
Right.
We talked about the strike, the NFL boycott and all that. We've talked about the Redskins and the Native Americans. But the Chiefs, we've talked about Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Brittany Mahomes, Harrison Butker. The Chiefs have a lot of shit going on.
A lot, yeah.
Well, there's a super fan, and you said you kind of heard of this guy before, and his name, he goes by he's known as ChiefsAholic.
Yes.
And he was just sentenced to 17 years in prison. Now allow me to elaborate. His name is Xavier Bubadar. It's a good Nebraska name.
No wonder they changed his name.
Yeah.
To ChiefsAholic.
ChiefsAholic. Yeah, it sounds cooler. I don't know. Xavier's always been kind of whatever. He was very popular on social media. He showed up to every game in a jersey with a werewolf outfit.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. He ended up being a serial bank robber.
Yes, that's what it was.
Responsible for 11 robberies.
Yes.
So he would launder his fortunes from the success, the bank robberies, the success, if you will, through casinos. And the profits went to fund his travel to all the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nice.
Games. So he stayed at all the luxury, resorts. Went
That's
to the
how
games,
you do it right
got good
there.
Seats. We're giving people ideas.
Yeah.
In 2022, he had his first arrest. 2023, he finally was his last arrest, and I'll tell you about that in a second. He used to pose at tailgates and take pictures, and he gave gambling advice.
Told him how to break into banks.
Yeah. But he's using casinos and betting, and so he's giving all this advice. So his robberies were actually armed robberies. This wasn't whatever. He stole a lot of money, and it was across 7 states.
Wow. Okay.
Over a 16-month spree, and he stole more than $800,000. He was arrested in 2022, fleeing an armed robbery in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wait a minute. Only at $800,000?
$800,000 over 11 bank robberies.
I don't know why I would assume it would have been more.
I don't think you have time to get much more. You got to get what you can and roll. I don't know. I'm not a bank robber.
That's true.
You would stay and just wait it out.
I'd get every dollar, but I guess it's harder to run in a Wolverine outfit with a Chiefs outfit,
a werewolf,
whatever. So I guess it's harder to get away.
Maybe that's what it is.
So,
but Tulsa, who was he seeing? Who's Kansas City playing down there?
Nobody.
Anyway, he was released from that one on bond, but he had a GPS monitor on his ankle. Okay, so he won 2 big bets. And won $100,000 on those 2 bets. So he cut his monitor and went on the run.
Wow.
While on the run for 4 months, he robbed 2 more banks in Nevada and California. And he finally was caught, sentenced at 17 years in prison, and has to pay $532,675 exactly. The other amount that led to the $800,000 was recovered, so he didn't have to pay it back.
I was about to say, did he hide the rest?
But he's in jail for 17 years. So, Kansas City, what the hell?
Is he in jail at least in Kansas City so he can watch the games?
I think so. I don't know.
That would suck.
I don't know. All I know is that the Kansas City Chiefs have more shit going on with their team and their fans than I.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Maybe they could put him in jail in San Diego, no, I guess they're in Los Angeles now. The Chargers, that way,
somewhere they rival.
Yeah, get stuck watching the Chargers games all the time.
He'll just get his ass kicked in jail.
There you go.
They're all Charger fans.
There you go.
I see what we did there.
Yeah.
How about Vegas for the Raiders? But the Raiders. The Raiders aren't tough anymore. Vegas. It doesn't seem like Vegas really gives a shit.
That's true.
But anyway, I think they need to be Oakland, don't you?
Oakland, yeah.
Anyway,
Oakland Raiders.
Let's move on from that to electrocuted flaming birds.
Electrocuted flaming birds.
Trey,
that's not a game, right?
No. Trey, electrocuted flaming birds literally are starting wildfires.
Oh.
Allow me to explain. It's often all year long. It's an annual thing. It happens, and then you can't. A lot of these wildfires you hear about are from this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious, Clark?
Yeah. I wish I had that soundbite.
That would be great.
So these summer birds have started 3 fires already. Summer birds. This summer, 3 birds have already started 3 fires in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Experts are now asking power companies to bird-proof their electrical equipment, which people are saying is not 100% possible. Bird-proof. What does that mean? So what happens
Spikes
is,
on the wire, maybe?
I guess. But what happens is, like you see them standing on power lines all the time.
Right.
At the thing. And so everyone's like, well, what the hell? If they're just standing on the power line, it doesn't necessarily do anything. It's other contact while standing on the power line. So say they're standing there and then they chase a bug real fast and their wing hits a metal something, piece of it. And the electric brings it together. The other one is if one foot's on one and one foot's on another, thousands of volts of electricity can roll through these birds.
Does that not kill the bird?
Of course it does. Sometimes they just fall dead. Other times they burst into flames.
Oh, shit.
Hitting the ground and starting the fire. And so it's caused. It's an issue because it's caused forest fire. Grass fires that have just spread.
Yeah.
So we laugh.
Wild.
We laugh, but it's
legit.
It's legit. And so anyway, real fast. Another thing that I'm going to go to this news. I was going to mention it before we watched the debate, but we watched the debate, and Donald, fuck's sakes. This whole thing about Haitians, they're here. That's not a lie. They're here. Haitian immigrants illegally are here. But this whole rumor about them eating pets, getting
Dogs
your
and
cats and
yeah.
the dogs, I don't know if it's true. I mean, I've heard so many people say that it is, and witnesses have testified and said, hey, testify if that's the right word, have been interviewed and said, this has happened. But unless you know for sure, you probably shouldn't say it at a presidential debate.
Yeah.
And Vance, unfortunately, the VP for Trump, he kind of tweeted it, and it got some traction. And of course, the funny pages, the comedic parody pages, put it out, and it was like it kind of gained some steam.
Yeah.
So there's now memes of Haitian guys with their cats and this thing. But the guy tonight, this ABC asshole that, and by the way, I just read a headline that popped up that said ABC's getting tons of backlash about being biased, which they were tonight. Again, CNN, I never thought I'd say it, not biased on the first debate. Tonight, ABC, fuck you. And fuck you for this whole ESPN Directv bullshit. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's ABC. And I don't know if it's ABC. I think it might be Disney. But either way, figure it out. Because I couldn't watch football. I couldn't watch... There's a game on this weekend coming up. I got to figure out how to watch it. So I might. Apparently,
Disney's taking content away as far as giving to DirecTV the content that they can use that Disney produces, to where Disney can make you have to get an app for it. So basically, Disney's trying to get you to go on the app to get this extra content as opposed to being able to see it on DirecTV.
Right.
So yeah, but they're also trying to get DirecTV to pay more to Disney.
To offer it there.
So,
but you know what gets lost in all this? ESPN, who's affiliated now with Disney. And it pisses me off because I have an app that's an ESPN Plus app where I can watch college games, any sport. It was the best app, the way they did it. And now I can't get to that app. Why? I'm paying ESPN Plus. I'm not paying for anything else. Well, you have to put your TV provider.
Yeah.
So now I put in DirecTV, and it's a big mess. So I may switch. And unfortunately for DirecTV, it's probably not their fault. It's probably Disney.
A lot of times it is, yeah.
So DirecTV, I don't know. You're in a tough situation. Anyway, so ABC sucks is the point.
Of all that.
And the guy tonight, all he said, he kept interrupting. He's President Trump. There's no evidence according to... The city planner, whatever.
The city planner, but city whatever.
Councilman or whatever. And the police and whatever. And all that. And that's fine. But maybe, did you ever think, people are going to say I'm just going to bat for Trump, but did you ever think that a guy might come out and not want his city to look like this? And maybe come out and say, hey, it's nothing to see here as bombs are going off in the background. Everything's fine.
Did you see somebody chewing on a cat behind him?
Just walking by. Yeah, everything's good. There's nobody eating pets. And somebody's got a rabbit. Somebody's got anyway.
Ugh.
And the bottom line to me, though, is not about the pets. The bottom line to me is that 1/3 of the city of Springfield, Ohio, is now Haitian immigrants.
Are you serious?
1/3. And it's only a 60,000 person town, if I'm not mistaken. 20,000 of them were sent there.
That's wild.
Things aren't going to go well. There are Venezuelan gangs that are out there, and some of them, honestly, I heard today, are local to us. And it's just kind of like, this is happening. Trump's not making it up. He doesn't need to answer it on every question, but it's there. So I wanted to address that, but I just didn't think it was right to bring it up in the debate.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
The same, yeah.
Do you think that there are pets being eaten by Haitians?
I hope not. That sucks.
Do you think it's possible?
I guess anything's possible these days, but I hope not.
That's a good answer. Anything could be true, but it's probably not.
Yeah, I can't imagine them sitting on the corner doing this for everybody to see, though. I'm
like
sure
barbecue in the grill out.
A little bit in private,
Well, anyway. All right, that's news for tonight.
Can we get our music guy to do a new theme song for that?
We keep saying he was going to try it, but he hasn't got back to me yet. This is obviously news, but I'm going to make this kind of a main topic tonight. Well, actually, you know what? Aren't we going to do the video? Let's do the video first, Trey.
Okay.
Trey found a great video. There's all my pictures, and here we go.
How about we treat every young man who wants to buy a gun like every woman who wants to get an abortion? A mandatory 48-hour waiting period, parental permission, a note from his doctor proving he understands what he's about to do, a video he has to watch about the effects of gun violence, and an ultrasound wand up the ass just because. Let's close down all but one gun shop in every state and make him travel hundreds of miles, take time off of work, and stay overnight in a strange town to get a gun. Let's make him walk through a gauntlet of people holding photos of loved ones who were shot to death and people who call him a murderer and beg him not to buy a gun. I mean, it makes more sense to do this with young men and guns than with women and healthcare, right? I mean, no woman getting an abortion has ever killed a room full of people in seconds, right?
What do you think?
That's interesting.
Interesting point?
No, of course it is. It's a very interesting point. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that because it's a very pro-abortion is what I got from it. What did you get? Explain why you wanted to analyze this video.
I mean, I thought it would be interesting if there's so much that a woman has to do in order to get an abortion. They have the 48-hour wait to rethink it. He said, I guess it depends on the age of the person, a note from the parents, a note from the doctor to make sure that they understand what they're doing. Obviously, the protesters that are at abortion sites showing pictures and stuff like this to try to get them to not, quote unquote, kill a baby and stuff like that. Why not throw that at a gun as far as a kid trying to buy a gun or a young person trying to buy a gun? Why not make them wait a 48-hour period to decide on it? Why not even have a doctor, whether it's a psychologist? I'm assuming it's a psychologist when it comes to this, write a note saying that, yes, they're mentally capable of getting a gun, and some of this, I guess it was a little lighthearted as far as the wand up the butt just because I'm an ultrasound wand. A video to watch about a video to watch about the effects of gun violence. I don't see that as a bad deal. This obviously a little tongue in cheek, close down all but one gun shop in every state and make them travel to another town. Maybe not. I know that's probably a little tongue in cheek as far as doing that, but that's not going to happen. But the walk through a gauntlet of people holding up photos of loved ones who were shot to death. That might be interesting to have to go through. Again, this is people that are legally trying to do it, of course,
Sure.
And then, of course, having people call him a murderer and beg him not to buy a gun. I don't know how that would affect him from buying a gun, but...
No, it doesn't seem to affect the women that want to have abortions or want the ability to have an abortion. I respect the comparison that he made. I think there are some that are good and some that aren't. In all those,
that's fair.
I think that the like you said, the one place in every state like that doesn't make sense because that's
going to be far fetched. Yeah,
that's whatever. Showing the family or showing the effects of gun violence, sure. But what if you're just buying a gun for You're literally going to put it in your safe and protect your family. I mean, do you really need to see the gun violence just to have a gun?
I mean, well, maybe that's a bad comparison as far as learning how to drive. I mean, they show you the effects of drunk driving, texting and driving.
We've all taken defensive driving, once or twice in our lives. Yeah, so, and do. You're right. They do. They show all that, and sex education. They show some stuff too, according to.
Where's that video at?
Hong Kong. We're gonna go play some badminton after this.
But it is unfortunate that this is we're also talking about the people that are buying it legally, going through this whole process and stuff. That's the people that's going to buy it legally. Is that the people that we're worried about? I don't know as far as all these gun violence. I mean, this last kid, didn't his dad get him the gun? So. Does that really help things out? The one here in, was it Georgia?
Yeah, we did that, right? That wasn't supposed to be tonight. We talked about that, right?
Right. So didn't the dad buy him a gun? Didn't that what we said?
Yeah, well, I think the dad just gave him a gun. I don't know how it was purchased or whatever, but the dad was aware that he had it and was in full support of it.
So obviously this wouldn't have helped that out. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I know part of it was tongue in cheek, but it was something that maybe you think about a little bit.
I think it was a combo of the guy thinking he was being clever, and there's some truth to it, and maybe he thought it was a little bit better than it was. But he makes a point. The point is that, okay, look, if you're going to go one way, you got to kind of go the other and be able to, you can't just eliminate everything on this side, on the gun side, and not have anything and then go like
full bore on
the other
abortion.
Side. And my response is simple, and again, this is another issue that proves that I'm not about bipartisanism. I'm not a Republican. Is that I'm more in the middle on guns than in abortion. Those are probably the two that I'm completely neutral on, because I do think that we need to have. We're not going to collect all the guns, people. So get over that shit. We've been through it.
And that's not going to fix everything.
It's not going to fix. Can you imagine some like druggie who's got hundreds of thousands of dollars and he deals drugs and has like 18 guns in his house? It's like, oh no, they're outlawed. I better go hand them in.
Right.
Don't be stupid.
Well, I can't even imagine calling the police for your protection to show up and say, hopefully you can fight them. While they have guns and you're with wands or knives or whatever the case may be. So
you're not going to get all the guns. But what I am for are very, very strict punishments, very, very strict, what do you call them, the background checks. I'm for making ammunition very expensive. I know that creates another black market for ammunition. But for having to take a refresher course every year or two, for having to do these things, it's a pain in the ass for legal gun owners that know how to shoot and are there to, but it's something worth doing. You have to, we should have to do it with driving. My God. I took my test when I was 16, and now I'm 30, and you forget things.
Yeah,
I didn't say our real age, but someone that's 85 has been taking their driver's test since they were 16 years old.
Yeah,
and you get your eyes checked, but that's about it.
Right.
When you renew your license, and so I'm all for it. And so gun people get on me. They're like, oh, we don't need any more. We just need the good guys to have it. It's not that simple. You need to make it difficult. You can't just sell it at a fucking gun store down the street.
Right.
You just can't do it.
And if you don't want more regulations, you got to get the gun people to figure out how do we protect ourselves from these idiots too. So
a whole nother, like I said, you could do a whole season on gun talk, and I'm sure there are podcasts that are dedicated to that. Not us. Mm-mm. But we'll talk about it. So lastly, before we go tonight, let's talk about this, Trey. And this is tough because this is a gentleman from a country where I've become very close with. We've got some close friends of the show in Pakistan. But there was a Pakistani man that was living in Canada, in Quebec. I think he was in Quebec. Well, they found him there, so I'm assuming he lived there. His name was Muhammad Shazib Khan. I think that was the correct pronunciation.
Okay.
And he's 20. He's only 20 years old. And he was arrested for plotting a terrorist attack against 3 Jewish spots in New York City on the anniversary of the Hamas attack, which is October 7th. He was stopped 12 miles from the border, and he was trying to pay smugglers to let him in.
20 years old.
20 years old. So somehow, he's got to have help. Obviously, I can't imagine. Apparently, there were like 3 cars and 3 smugglers, and there were checkpoints and different things, so he could find his way in, and it would be less obvious. But his goal, he said now, he's in custody, is to slaughter in the name of ISIS as many Jewish people as possible.
Damn.
Okay, so this Jewish extremist Muslim thing is going crazy. I say extremist Muslim and Jew thing, and it's because of Gaza. That's the only. But they've never liked each other. But anyway, so the charge that he had was that he was trying to provide material to foreign terrorist organization, which is ISIS. He was caught using encrypted messaging apps. What he didn't realize was that
we have the same app.
Yeah, the people he was confiding in was an undercover FBI agent.
Oh, nice.
So, thank God
we didn't just out him. Did we?
Well, thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, what if it wasn't? And would we have gotten him? So to me, the interesting point was, will he be held in Canada with Trudeau? I mean, who knows? He's free. Back to, maybe they'll just deport him, or is the rumor is he's going to be deferred to Canadian the government, which I don't like. Or since he was planning here, is he going to be sent here for a trial?
Interesting.
Fuck that guy. If you're planning, he admitted I was planning to kill a bunch of people. End him. He's done.
Right.
But that's why I'm not president. That's why I'm not a judge. Everybody be dead. What'd you do? You're fucking gone.
Dead.
But he was caught sharing ISIS propaganda videos, blah, blah, blah. He wanted to attack. There are 3 Jewish community centers in Brooklyn specifically, and he thought he was going to use AR-15s.
Damn.
Which, of course, was going to spark all kinds of talk. With 6 men, 3 teams of 2, attacking those 3 targets. I mean, he had it planned. It was all this big thing. And the idea is to kill as many as he could.
So where's these other men at?
I don't know. There you go. And I looked for that and I couldn't find it. So there's more to that story. Like, what if they're already? You can carry it out.
Sitting
with 5.
at the Hilton waiting for that one guy to show up
at the Ritz in New York City. But he was stopped in a place called Orangetown, Quebec, after 3 vehicle smugglers I talked about. So, whew.
Thank goodness.
This isn't done. I mean, this is happening in our country. Protests for Muslim, Jewish conflict. All of a sudden, Christians are kind of like, okay, we're not. Thank God we're finally out of this thing.
Well, what? I mean, he was already in Canada. What if he decided to do something in Canada?
Well, that's what I mean.
Is that not a bigger?
I don't. Well, I just don't think there are enough people in Canada to make an impact. You hit NYC, Brooklyn, with 3 Jewish spots, then he claimed that if he had been successful, it would have been the biggest thing since 9/11. All proudly, and that makes me filled with rage. I'm a
little nervous.
Because again, what if he had gotten away with it?
Yeah,
and this person that didn't intercept it, apparently the encryptions and the stuff he was doing were interceptable, but it was just fortunate that it was easier with this one dude was like he's just right into my lap,
right?
Texting him propaganda for ISIS and all this stuff, and but I wanted to bring that up, and we've got to be aware of it, and there's a difference between respecting other cultures, respecting other religions, and being aware that there are things that are happening within those religions that suck.
Yeah.
And I would think that a lot of people, including these friends of the show, would believe and would condemn extremism.
Right.
And so it's very difficult because you look at somebody and you go, which one are they?
Yeah.
Which side are they on? And even though the extremist side is very, very, very small in comparison to the regular, the Muslim side that isn't extreme, you still kind of cringe because, man, they hate us, the extremists.
Yeah.
Hate the West. They hate America. They hate the UK, all the Europe. And in the big Jewish populations are right now a target. Man, the poor Jews. They can't catch a break,
Right.
in this world. So that happened, and let's just hope that nobody else gets through with something like that. I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly what the plan was, besides just going and shooting up a place. But
That's pretty scary. And
So-
then enough.
what a show, man! The debate. Any wrap up thoughts on the debate? I've kind of looked up every once in a while to see. Fox News, I'll admit that I know they're biased, so I'll go probably watch a little CNN or watch something that's more Kamala just to get both. I really do try and do that, people, so give me a break. Trey does too.
Send me a report.
Trey watches 6 different channels before bed just to get all the perspective about everything politics.
Mostly it's ESPN, so I get my fantasy stuff.
Did you have a victory?
No.
Oh, did I have a victory?
You did?
I did.
You didn't know about it, though, so I don't know what you're excited about.
I thought, because I had this weird thing with fantasy football where I like to look at the scores and guess, like, okay, I've got this, my team looks good, rather than just following the app of the teams. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of look at what I think my opponent has. I don't know. It's weird. I wait. And I could have sworn he had taken me, and then it turns out
He did not?
by like 4 points. So 1-0. You lost.
I lost. Badly.
I'll have to go look at that just to laugh.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's a long season. Look, I've been 1-0. I've been 6-1, and I ended up getting knocked out in the first round. So
Yeah, that's true.
anything can happen with.
It's like the Cowboys.
Well, they looked good, didn't they?
They
Or did
looked-
the Browns look shitty?
Yes.
Okay, we won't talk much more football, but Steelers and Cowboys both won, so we're both happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Longhorns had a good win, although Michigan is not the same Michigan, and you know that.
And luckily,
They look really
was it
bad.
Northern
Illinois beat Notre
was
Dame.
able to keep their quarterback from throwing up all over the place and beat Notre Dame
Yeah, that was not a good look.
in Notre Dame.
Some would call it a trap game for Notre Dame, and we'll see. We have a game in Florida. Good test on the road. We'll see what happens. And you guys have,
I think it's the state high school champions
high
this
school,
week.
yeah, the Pee Wee League from Little Giants.
Now it's our preseason right now.
Yeah, I know. But hey, credit where credit is due. If you go to Ann Arbor in Michigan and win, no matter how poor they look this year and how many people they lost, and the fact they have an entire
Blah,
coaching
blah,
staff,
blah.
Good. We'll see what
It's
happens.
better than having Michigan come to our home and
win.
lose.
Oh,
So-
right. So, sure. And that's our football talk for tonight, everybody. But this is the last show. How do you feel? And then we'll wrap it up. Real quick, I just want to know, I just hate to end the season with that.
I think it worked out perfectly that the debate happened to be on the final show of season 3.
What do you anticipate in season 4 to be different, do you think?
More
About
fun.
staying the grip? More fun. Ouch. I don't know why I say ouch. It's our show. You don't have fun?
Well, don't we? We're gonna have a new character, right? New song, new character,
Yeah,
new look.
there's somebody that's been dying to call into our show. He just doesn't like some of the things that I say. And so he's begged to basically bitch me out. And I have a feeling a lot of our listeners would enjoy that.
So, yeah, more fun.
Including my co-host.
I'm gonna love that
Do you think you'll agree with this caller?
every time.
We have a new theme song. We have a new cover art, new intro. Everything is happening.
It's gonna be new.
I think it'll probably be just a little bit of a gap here while we go into season 4, and but it won't be too long. Don't worry, I'll put out plenty of good reels and shorts for you guys to check out.
Right.
And we'll go from there. How do you feel?
Sounds good.
Should I
Looking forward to it.
Should I do a quote for the end of the
Well,
night?
of course.
Okay, end of the
End of the
season.
season.
I didn't. I would have maybe looked a little harder, but I still think this is pretty.
Grab the first one.
I think this is pretty fucking funny. It's about love again.
Oh, we're doing love again.
We're doing love again. They say that love, and by the way, like and subscribe and all that.
Yeah. Especially Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey. She probably already has. Look, everybody, it's not hard to like and subscribe. It helps us out. Do it, and we'll give you a pen or some shit. The quote to end the season is, "They say that love is more important than money. But have you ever tried to pay your bills with a hug?"
Actually, I have.
And we'll leave it at that. See you next season, everybody. Enjoy the song for the last time.
Later.
Later. I love you guys. Thank God.
No bias here, just the facts and the fair. We look at both sides, do our best to compare. In this podcast realm where we compromise, balance is key and the facts don't lie. Stay in the gray where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride.
Uh-oh. 15 minutes ago, Taylor Swift endorses Kamala Harris after presidential debate.
Really?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for episode 1 of season 4. God, really?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. On to season 4 and the upcoming election. See you guys.
Later.